Washington State College of Ohio has moved into phase 2 of the Rural Guided Pathways project. Our LV Hissom has more on the project and how it is helping local students have access to college credit.
Dean of Technology and Transfer at Washington State College of Ohio, Jonna Reinard, explains that the Rural Guided Pathways project is intended to allow better access to courses and eliminating barriers for students within rural settings.
And we are one of 28 colleges across the United States that are within rural settings. And the focus of the work is to allow access, or better access, to our courses and completion here at the college, and recognizing what barriers may exist for students and figuring out ways to eliminate those barriers.
Reinard says that the college has been in phase 1 of the program for the last 3 years, which focused on access to courses.
It's recognizing access. So how do we assure that students have access to the courses that they need and the time that they need those courses?
Phase 2 will act as a continuation of phase 1 with an added focus of completion of courses.
We've moved into 2.0, which is that access, but then also completion. And then now we're looking at access, completion, and then getting into the workforce and how that plays a vital role in assuring that the programs that we offer here actually get to a sustainable wage.
Reinard says that since the implementation of the program, they have seen great success through the changes made because of it. Changes such as transforming 16-week semesters into 8-week courses saw an improvement in student success.
It made the courses a little bit more accessible because we could block them down, and then we opened up opportunities for students to then be able to be here on campus just a little less, which allowed them to also possibly be working at the same time. Many of our students are here as students, but they're also working as well. And so identifying those barriers, eliminating them, changing the way we set up the courses has really been a benefit.
Reinard says that with the elimination of these barriers, students will have the ability to have a quality education that will help to prepare them for the workforce without extending their time in college needlessly.
So we want every one of our students on a completion plan. And what that means is when they come in for first-time advising, they know how they are going to get to the finish line and what that's going to look like. And we are working really hard to educate our students and our K-12 partners on taking the courses that matter so that they don't overextend their time and really take what matters. So it's not, we like to call that random acts of college credit. Focus on the path. Focus on the courses you need, make them matter so that you can earn that degree.
In Marietta, LV Hissom for WTAP News. This is home.